Christy and we're about to do a freaking powerful healing session. I'm mostly just here holding space, but Christy is just a powerful facilitator. We've done multiple interviews together. She's just constantly bringing that conscious, empowering language, helping us to step into our greatest possible selves. So I just really appreciate Christy being here. We're going to dive into that in just a sec. Before that, I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I see you. Thank you for being your greatest possible self. Thank you for taking one step at a time, and know that you are so freaking powerful. And just let it land. Let it resonate. Let it sink in, and really re-experience that you have that within you. So let's wake it up. Next up is our iTunes review of the week, and this week it is Melissa V. West, who said, "Good stuff. Chris's energy is infectious and off the charts." Absolutely, Melissa. I appreciate that review. If you want a chance to get shouted out on a future 12-hour live stream, go to beergps.com/iTunes or search Greatest Possible Self on the Apple Podcast Store. Let us know what you love, what you want to see more of. Hit that subscribe button so you can keep getting all the latest episodes, healing, empowering, coaching sessions, all the great stuff that we do on this 12-hour marathon, and stay tuned. I'm going to introduce Christy in just a sec. Before that, just get ready. Get ready for a powerful session. If you're able to just dive full in with this session, do it. If you need to come back around when you are in a better state or better place where you can relax more, definitely do that too. But it's going to be a powerful hour. Let's introduce Christy, and then we'll bring her on. Everything is energy, and anything is possible. These are the words that guide her practice every day. Through Christy's work with sessions, consultations, workshops, presentations, and online tools, she holds a focused intention with the divine that empowers others to transform and heal their lives. She's trained as a light worker, certified lightwave practitioner, Reiki master, certified angel alchemist, certified holo sets practitioner, and much more, but has learned to let go of the limitations of the modalities. She was born with unique empathic abilities that guided her to discover her true self, which allows her to connect with divine intelligence and facilitate the information or energy that is most beneficial to her clients at any moment in time. Her spiritual path has taught her many things, but perhaps the most important lesson she's learned is that we don't have to struggle. When we allow ourselves to be open to divine love and intelligence, we are unlimited. And we're going to get even more unlimited up in here. Christy, are you ready to rock it?
Absolutely.
All right. We are live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. And we're going to be doing this healing hour in just a bit. I want to explain about that. But first, since we're here, let's talk about this theme of the day. When life hands you lemons, pivot. I just want to hear from your perspective, Christy. What does that mean for you?
Beyond the lemons is something that it could be something unexpected. It could be something that unknown. And being okay with that, because in that's where the possibilities and the potential is, which is sometimes beyond your control. And how wonderful is that to lighten up, because if you're in control of the things that you do manifest, the things that you do create, then that means that you're also in control of the things that you don't, or there's that feeling of responsibility, whether you're doing something or not. So are you truly the creator? So what if you allowed that pivot instead of the control? So are you really truly losing anything? Because the universe, I mean, there is trust in that, though. There is trust. But it's a natural thing once you start to let go of these other things. It's just there, and it's so much easier to allow and to surrender, or whatever you want to call that. And it really can, and just like anything that's going on in the world right now, it is only what it is perceived to be, only what it is thought or believed to be. And that's different for everyone. So why not allow it to be something different than what you thought it was? Because I guarantee you there's something truly amazing in that.
Yeah. And there's an organic evolution, of like where is this feeling like it wants to go? Like a plant goes towards the sun organically, because it's like that's the source that's pulling it towards it,
Yeah. And just like when you plant something and it just knows how to grow. Did you
Mm,
teach it or did someone tell it? No, it just, there's this intelligence that is there that is within all of us
yeah.
without our thinking and without the, that the concepts and these conditionings and things like that. Your body still knows what to do.
Yep.
Okay, it knows how to do it even better because you didn't force it into something that maybe it is, it feels uncomfortable. It doesn't have to.
Yeah.
And so that's where the pivot is. You can start to change these things.
Yes, yes, Christy, I love it. I love it. So I'll give some context for people who are just tuning in for this
Mhm.
hour, the healing hour, and then we'll talk a little bit about how you serve your clients a little bit more before we dive in. But the reason I created this hour is because I knew when people show up for an interview and they get to listen to it either live or on a replay, that's great and it's valuable and it impacts their lives. And I wanted to create a space for powerful healers and facilitators like yourself to come on and raise the frequency of the planet and everyone who is open to receiving this, the entire universe, right? Like tapping into quantum transformation. Like we're literally changing matter across the universe by interacting in this time and space, and especially having the intention that people are going to get benefited who are open, who are seeking, who are searching, or even who are struggling and like just stuck. And so we're going to be holding a space for them in a couple different ways in this hour. And you just have a ton of really great wisdom to share, some gifts, some exercises, and processes for us to go through. So that's really what I want to set the intention for everyone who's tuning in, live or not live, and anyone beyond. We are raising the frequency here, Christy. So do you want to share a little bit more about the work that you're doing and how you want to dive into that in this hour? I think that'd be a good context to start with.
Yeah. Yes, I did a video last week, I guess it was. And I asked people, what is it? I'm gonna be on with Chris Burns on Wednesday, and we're gonna be doing this healing hour, and it's gonna be awesome. So, what are some of the things that I took requests?
Yeah.
I was like, what are some things that you want to bring into this that would like to address? And there was a lot of things, different answers, but healing and clearing,
Mm.
or calm was another word that stood out.
Wow.
Calm.
Wow.
Someone had mentioned past lives. We might touch on that a little bit, but just know that everything is happening right here, right now. Past lives are just that. They're in the past. Okay? Anything that you're experiencing now, if you believe that it's from a past life,
Mm.
it is just that. It is something that has been programmed, or it's in the conditioned or conceptual mind,
Yeah.
in some way, shape, or form, just like the whole concept of the soul and all the things that the soul does, and this and that and the other. A lot of those aren't all true, but they can be for you if you want them to be. If they're working in your favor and you want to keep that and hold on to those, absolutely. But that's another thing, though, that we can let go of.
Mm.
Okay, because it's just that, it's a concept.
Yeah.
Does that truly really exist? And we don't have to know that. You can just say, you know what, I'm okay with not having these things.
Mm.
Some people like the idea of the past lives and all these contracts and agreements and this and that and the other. And I was just like, no. I mean, for me, it was like the true soul, the pure soul,
Yeah.
which is unconditional,
Mm.
wouldn't have a contract and things like that because that's a condition.
Mm.
That's a limitation.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, and so when I traced it back to, it's more of like on the mental level. So
Yeah.
it's more of a, in that, like I said, conceptual mind, which is fine. So like I said, if you're programming your mind to do certain things, that's great. Absolutely. Stay with that if that's working for you. But if you're finding that that's not working for you, you might want to go a little deeper,
Mm.
because there's something deeper that is beyond that. Okay, that is that where you're going to find your truth.
Mm.
And so I help people with that, and it's such a wonderful thing for me. I used to do the energy healing and things like that, and I still do that. That's included, but it's just another level, or it's not, it's not me doing the healing. Okay, I'm a chant, or there's like a clear. I just intend for there to be a clear channel, and or a facilitator, or whatever you want to call it. Like I said, doesn't matter what you call it. So that's not anything that I'm holding on to. but it just allows things to just flow. So basically a pure energy source is just flowing through. And because I don't know, I let go of the knowing and that need to have to know and find out what was going on and all this stuff, because it's beyond me. I was finding that sometimes, yes, it was correct.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it wasn't when so I was just like, I'm just going to let that go, because there is this divine intelligence that already knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so much more than my mind could possibly, it would just be a concept. And so I was just like, okay, I'll just let it flow. And so now with the sessions, that's what's coming through, is more like channeling and more things shifting and changing, because things are just being resolved or cleared or whatever, because they're just they don't exist in that space or from that source. That it's just not there. And so it's amazing what can just shift and change when you just allow that to just be.
Yes, I love it. And I just want to highlight the conscious language that you're using, right? It's for some people, they might be saying, okay, like it's like I'm working to keep up with what you are creating with your language, because I think some people can be so identified with labels, with how their world and how they see that world, how it works. And so I love that it's really, there's a lot of non-attachment, there's a lot of allowing, there's a lot of openness, there's a lot of being and just flow that comes through your languaging. And I think that place of not holding on to and control of any specific label or any mechanism or any modality or any identity is where we really start to like free ourselves up to step into that unlimited possibility and creatorship.
Yeah, and what happens, and that's what came through in the video the other day when I did that and asked that. Like I said, healing and calm came in, and really people wanting to raise their vibration, people wanting to receive any type of activations and things like that. Yeah. And that's all possible in that space. And so it's just a beautiful space it's just there. And it's and in this show we get to hold that space so that whatever wants to come through for that person or whatever, it's about releasing and letting go, so that this natural, like you said, the more organic state of being is there, that beingness that, people ask for downloads and to receive stuff all the time, but really it's in the not having any of that. And then whatever you're truly wanting is already there. And so instead of piling more stuff up on top of it, it's allowing that to just be and start to emerge and, expand, and whatever you want to call that. So it really is it's been quite the experience for me, I'll tell you. All of this, just letting go of these things. And I surrendered that and said, I'm okay with not holding on to these things anymore. Yeah. I'm okay with, because I know that whatever I was holding on to, there was something even better that is there. And so why would I choose to continue to hold on to something when there's so many more possibilities there? And so it was just my own personal choice that I made, and because I knew that there was something beyond what I thought and what I believed. And so now it's starting to show up, and it's just a beautiful thing. And it's very natural, though it can be. The transition a little bit was a little not exactly 100% comfortable, but that's okay. That's okay. And so, but with the sessions, with these videos and things, though, we do just kind of invite in that ease and grace, and that whatever they're ready to truly let go of, and whether they're ready or not, sometimes there's that deeper, that part of themselves that's like, yes, raising their hand. Yeah. And so sometimes things can shift and change, and people are like, oh wow, they didn't even know that was possible, or they weren't sure, or whatever it is. But I just allow the possibilities. And like I said, when you're in that space of non-judgment and there's not the emotional stuff going on or any of that, it's just really this peaceful place that allows for these shifts and things to happen.
I love it.
So we're going to get into them, and the three words that came in pretty clearly was clearing, clarity, and calm. So if anyone has any questions throughout this healing hour, feel free to ask them. And if they have any requests for themselves or for someone else, maybe, they can put that in the comments as well.
Beautiful. I'll make sure I remind them. And Christy, this is going to be powerful. So where do you want to begin?
Okay, so we can start with just an overall clearing. If they want to get something in there, bring that up to the forefront there, something that maybe is a priority for them, something that they're maybe feeling or experiencing. Where do you feel that? How are you experiencing that? And you can just kind of get an idea of that. You don't have to say, I have some people that come to me and they're like, okay, this is what's going on and this is where it came from and this is what's happening. And, and it's like, okay, that's totally fine. So we let that go. We don't need to know that. So that's what happens too, is another thing, is that people, something happens and they're like, oh, everything happens for a reason, but then they want to know that reason. It's like, do you really want to go down that rabbit hole and really create a whole nother layer or level or whatever? And so I'm just like, it's okay, it's done, let it go.
I love it. So good. Now we got audio back, and let's keep diving into this, Christy. How can we really dig into releasing?
All right, so if they want to think of something, this may be a priority for them, something that they're feeling, something that they've been experiencing, that they're ready, that they're like, yes, whatever this is, and like I said, not holding on to the labels of it, but they can just, if they do, they can just say, okay. But you take just a moment, and we're going to take a few deep breaths, and we'll do this again at the end too.
Okay.
So take a few deep breaths, and whatever that is, we're just allowing that, surrendering that to that higher consciousness, that creator, the universe, God, source, Jesus, whatever you believe in there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't hold on to a name. It's only, people that have given it names, so it doesn't matter. So we're just allowing that to come in, or to just be there and allow that shift to happen. So if anyone wants to think of something, or just bring to the surface, there's something that they're maybe wanting to release at this time. And this may work on something totally different too for them. Whatever, there may be something there that they're not even aware of, and that's okay. So we're just allowing that. And just take a few deep breaths. Deep breath in and all the way out. And as you're doing this, what you're doing is you're breathing, so you're focusing, or you're just aware of your breathing, and so you're not aware of and trying to control things with your mind. So take a few deep breaths. Just be aware of your breathing. And we'll do this again, like I said, towards the end, but we're just holding this space during this show at this time, allowing that. Okay. And another request that I had was people wanting to know how to go deeper, how to connect with that higher consciousness that is there, and just know that it's always there. And so the best way to start to have that relationship with it, to start to connect with it more, or allow it to be present more, is to just take a few moments to breathe. take a few moments to do something other than overthinking things. In those moments, it's there. And so I had someone that we did a session not too long ago, and they were like, I was like, you can find that peace anytime. I was like, because that's what they were truly wanting, was peace. And they were like, oh, wow, great. Then tell me how to do that. I would love to learn how to do that. And I was like, well, okay, let's just stop for a minute and take a few deep breaths. And she did. We took a few deep breaths. And I said, so now, how are you feeling? What are you feeling? What did you feel with that? And she said, really calm and peaceful. And I was like, there you go. And people are like, what? They think there's some other magic trick or something. And it's like, no, that was it. You can do that anytime you want. And anyone can do it. Mm-hmm. And so she was like, oh, wow. And so there is amazing things in simplicity.
Yes.
Less is more.
Yes.
Less is more. That's what happened with me during the whole energy healing learning experience that I had at the time, was that there was always something else. There was always more to learn. There was always new things being called new things, and basically which was the same as something else, and all of this stuff. Yeah. And then there's things that are hidden, that are trapped, and I'm like, it's all just energy. How can we simplify this? And I, once again, I was led to just let it go. It really all is some type of concept in the first place. And that's not who you are. Okay?
And also that there's a physical sensation. There's especially in your body when you do the breathing, you can feel the release. You can just intend on the release. And it's almost like after you do it, in the beginning for me, I was really skeptical of, is this really doing anything? Is this really working? Am I really getting to the deepest level? And over time, as I've just breathed more and more and been conscious with my breathing, I trust that every time I choose to breathe, I am releasing. Every time I choose to breathe, I am raising my vibration, my frequency. Every time I choose to be present with that, I'm getting more connected with my soul. And it's like this knowing that I've stepped into, rather than am I, that doubting. The doubting has really gone away a lot. And of course it still pops up from time to time, and I just keep sinking back into that. Just breathe. Do the breathing, do the action, and everything else takes care of itself.
Yeah, is always there for you. When you breathe, do you feel that, right?
Yeah.
You feel that it's there to say, it's okay. I mean, for me, it's all as well.
Yeah.
And it's just there. And so everyone has that, though. No one is special, and only certain people has it, or this or that. No, it's everyone. It's how you're here. It's the true and pure spirit or soul, in like I said, beyond the concepts, beyond the conditioning, and there's not all this stuff that is believed to be the quote unquote soul. And so it's even letting go of what you thought the soul was, and what it does, and why, because there's a lot of blame on the soul and stuff, and it really wasn't the soul to blame, just as God. Some people blame God for things, and that's not what's to blame. And there's nothing to blame, really, if you get right down to it. Yeah. And so it's about just letting go, and the more you do that, then things don't seem to happen as often for you to want to kind of blame something in the first place. Yep. It just becomes more, it is what it is, but the in that isness, though, is more peace, and so you just attract more of those kinds of things. And so yeah. So another thing that I use on videos, just as a visual or to demonstrate, is like an acupuncture doll. Okay, so we can play around with this for just a moment. So if anyone does have, someone's saying overthinking, guilty. But you can let go of that. So you don't want to hold on to the guilt of doing that. So that's another thing. So there, right in that comment, is a is maybe a little message for you. So then you might be having some guilt around the overthinking. So you can let that go too.
Yep.
Okay, and be okay with these things instead of holding on to them with guilt or unforgiveness or something, whatever it is, whether it's distrust or doubt or whatever it is. You start to let those things go because it doesn't help you in any way to hold on to them at all. Okay, unless you choose to, and that's your choice. But otherwise, no, they're not meant to. You're not meant to hold on to these things. It's emotions weren't created to be stuck or to hold on to things. They were just an experience, and someone gave it a name, so it's another whole concept thing. But anyway, so with the doll, what I can do is, what I do is I can just run my hand over it, and my hand will stop on a certain place. I don't know who that will be for. I don't know what it is. I don't need to know. I don't have to know. This could be for someone live or on the replay. I don't know. And so that's the beauty in it. I let go of the knowing because I don't know. And so I just, but there is something that does know what's going on. And so it's an invitation for that to show up. So if anyone has anything that they have any requests or anything like that, so just put them in the comments. And I'm also just going to invite in anything that will be beneficial, like I said, live now or on the replay or anytime that they watch this. So, and if this doesn't apply to you, then it won't affect you at all. Okay. So it's only if it's something that is going on that is helpful for you. That's, it's kind of like, if you were to, wash something that's already clean, it doesn't hurt anything. I mean, you're just like if you're washing dishes and you wash something and it's already been washed, it doesn't matter. It's not going to do anything. But if there is something on there, it could, clean it off. So we're just leaving that open to that. So yes, I'll kind of keep an eye on the comments there. But otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and start. And this is for, like I said, anyone live or on the replay, just kind of seeing where in my hand stopping right there on the back of the neck. And it doesn't matter. This is a female doll. I have a male one. It doesn't matter. It's just imagine it just being doesn't matter who you are. Mm-hmm. So it's stopping right there. So what I do is I'll just kind of, like I said, just allow and see if I go back over it again, it doesn't stop there. It's smooth. So there is, and it's going right below that. So I usually start on the back because this can be linked to any organs or, whatever. So I just usually will start here. And so we're just going to kind of allow that. Okay. Yeah. And there we go. So that's clear, whatever that was. And so now we're stopping right here. And a lot of people do or can possibly hold, a lot of stuff in their tension and stuff in their back or whatever. So yeah. Okay, so we're moving on. And right there in the lower back. Okay. So just clearing that out, all right? Yeah, there we go. All right, so the back is all cleared right now, or the spine anyway, the spine there. Yeah. See if I were to go like on the side here, there's a little bit right there. So I can actually go over just the whole body here and just allow it to stop wherever. And it's basically just whatever's there, it allows that clearing, something to shift or change, whatever that is. So, is this a distance clearing? Someone is asking. Yes. It's remote, distance, whatever, wherever, it doesn't, it works anywhere. So if you have any requests, you can put them.
I know Laura mentioned that the joints in her fingers are hurting.
Okay. let's see where that is. Okay. And that's just where she's feeling it. There could be something where that's coming from, and that's okay. And when I run my hand up here, it could stop somewhere else on the body, and maybe that's where that's coming from. Or I can just go straight here and just be like, okay, whatever that is, we're just allowing that clearing to come in because that's where she's experiencing it at the moment. So yeah, so that one's good. That was the left one. So let's do the right one. Yep. That one's actually stopping on the wrist and on the fingers there. Okay. Yeah, much better. All right. Back to this one, yeah, a little on the wrist there. Okay. And I just want to encourage people, if they have anything really, I use an earth ball sometimes. I'll just hold my hands on the earth. We'll do that here in just a moment, just kind of give you an example. Anyone can do this. So you basically just intend to not really use your mind to do anything.
Right.
So you quiet your mind, you go beyond that to connect with that higher consciousness. And anyone, like I said, if you have a stuffed animal, a doll, or whatever, you can actually do this. You can actually do any of these things. And so, all right, so there's something, someone might have might feel some pressure in their head going on, because that's kind of, my focus went there, so I'm just kind of going with that. And with this is very calming energy. It's very peaceful. There's nothing, there's no like control or force or anything like that. We're just allowing that to flow right there on the top of the head. Okay. And the jaw, both sides of the jaws here. So there's people holding something there. So we'll just let that kind of clear out. There we go. Okay. Right side, like right up under the eye, so that could be sinus or something else. Don't know. So, clearing that out. Okay. And now the left side showing up. Okay. All right. I'm just kind of going to the throat there, the neck, throat area. Could be anything. I know a lot about the body. I know a lot of anatomy and stuff, but I just kind of allow whatever that is, because it could be, the thyroid. It could be, there's so much that it could be, and so I'm just like, I don't know. And like I said, there is this freedom, and there is this allowing and the I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that way I'm not holding on saying, yes, this is what it is. And then that person gets in their mind that, oh my gosh, there was something to do with my thyroid going on. And so this and that and the other. And then it turns into, then they can create another story or add to the story. So we're just letting go of the stories too. Yeah. Okay, so just kind of running down the front of the center there. And it's stopping right here. Okay. And in that area, there's so many possibilities. There's stomach, there's kidneys, there's all kinds of things. So then you get into the intestines and all that stuff. So doesn't matter. It's all good. Okay, the belly button, which is connected to a lot of things. So we're just allowing whatever that is. Okay. And this works on, doesn't matter if it's past lives or if it's something from childhood, a past experience, something that you're maybe concerned about for the future. It doesn't matter. Okay. Right here on the side, the right side, a little bit lower than the liver, but it could include that. Okay, there we go. All right. And while I'm doing this, if you want to just envision this beautiful light just running through you, and it's unconditional love and light. Everyone has it in them. If you want to visualize that, if that's helpful for you, you can do so. Just working now on the legs, stopping on the left, right above the knee there. Okay. Yep, smooth now. Yep, stopping on the ankles there, the feet. Feet have a lot of connections to the body. Okay. All right. The toes. Okay, let me go down the back side of the left. Yep, right behind the knee. Okay. All right. And the back of the ankle there. Okay, there. All right, so we'll go down to the right side. More like on the knee or right below. Okay. And the ankle. Okay. All right, let's go down the back side of the leg on the right side. Ankle there. All right. So, Chris, let's ask you, have you felt any tension in your body anywhere or anything kind of going on for you?
Yeah. And before that, Laura said, "Thank you, Christy. I felt immediate relief. I'm so grateful I was open to it for the hands."
Oh,
so
wow.
That was
good.
That was beautiful.
Wonderful.
For me, Christy, I felt a lot of pain in the arches of my feet. And I'm wondering, I don't need to know what it is, but that's something that I've been trying to figure out. What can I do about it? Do I want to stretch? Do I need to stretch more? Do I need to relax more? Do I give myself acupressure? Do I massage? Do I send healing? So I've been wondering around that.
Yeah, and what happens with that is if you find something that is working for you, so any of those things, whichever one you find helps you the most, that if you feel a release with that, then definitely go with that. That's the reason why it's so different for everyone. It depends on their own beliefs and things like that. So that's the reason why different things work for different people. But this, like I said, will go beyond the beliefs. So you may notice that maybe they're not bothering you so much. So I'm just kind of going over the arches now.
And
feel free to kind of move your foot around a little bit there if you want, your feet.
And it's the allowing that you were talking about as well, because everything I mentioned was all remedies to it versus just like allowing it to be released.
What if it's not there?
Exactly.
What if it's
exactly.
something that in your mind you thought was there because it was doing something and there was a whole story around it, or maybe 100 stories, who knows? But the thing is that you're not the story, so you can let it go. Yeah, so it is about, surrendering, allowing. But, see, for me, there's a foot and there's not a story. And so it's kind of like, okay, let that go. If I were to check, then I might, that might lead you to a whole nother whatever, or I used to do muscle testing to check for things, and I've been letting that go. I don't do that so much, and because like I said, I found that there's it's like, okay, you don't need to know this stuff anymore. So I was like, okay, which was tricky after having done it for so long. But it's been a wonderful blessing to just say,
like, to give a metaphor as I'm receiving this, because my feet feel so freaking amazing, like they feel so light and like just free. It's like when we're in that power of creatorship, like for example, Jesus turning water into wine or walking on water, it's like he just says it, he just does it, and then it is so. And there's no second guessing. There's no need to muscle test. Am I ready? Am I ready to walk on the water? Is it really turning into wine?
Is it still there? But that's the thing. There was this higher consciousness that just was. So it wasn't Jesus as a man, as a person doing it.
Right.
There was that energy flowing through him that allowed that, or that where that problem, that issue didn't exist. And there was no judgment or emotional, there was no connection, attachment to it whatsoever. And so, and it worked. It's funny how with some people in the stories that have been told, some of it people believe to be, okay, they believed in their mind that because they touched his robe, because he did something, that it just worked for them. And that's fine. Because if their mind is that powerful to them, then absolutely, that's fine. Or was it just being in that space to where that problem, that issue didn't exist, and so therefore it shifted in that moment? Who knows? We don't know, and that's okay. That's okay. So whatever theories you have, or some of them are whether they be theories, or there's so many words that we can choose from here. But whatever that is, it's just that. Who knows exactly 100% for sure that actually happened in that way? And the who, the what, the when, the where, the why, the how. Who knows 100% exactly? No. So is it worth, so you can ask yourself, start and with this whole letting go process is ask yourself, is it worth holding on to that? Is it your health and your well-being worth holding on to something? Or what if just by letting go, by just and being open to possibilities is one form of surrendering, of letting go, of releasing or whatever. But also just connecting and being in that space is another way of doing that, because you're not trying to control the things that are going on. But anything is possible at any time. Anything is possible at any time.
And we had a question from Laura who said, can this be done by proxy? By that I mean, can I do this on behalf of one of my adult children that isn't open to this type of thing, but has health issues that, in my opinion, are from major stress at work? I have done EFT on his behalf before, after asking his permission, spirit to spirit, not in person. Hope that makes sense.
This space, there's no conditions, so yes. Yes, that whole getting permission and things like that. If you're just in a space that's already, so it's basically that space is already within that person anyway. So it's like there's really no permission to be given. So who's given permission really? There's no harm being done. It's just if he's ready to let it go, it will.
Yeah.
Or even if he's not, and in that moment that his soul or that spirit is saying, okay, let's just go ahead and he's done with the learning on this. It's no longer serving him, so let's just release this or whatever. So it's even getting to where those things don't exist in that space. It's not the universe necessarily or that higher consciousness that is saying that these things are serving them. It's somewhere in some way, somehow it's in there on a mental level, whether it be their mind or their soul or whatever, from that level, where they might be holding on to these things. And so what's the harm in something just not being there that was there that is not useful for them anymore? I'm not deciding what's useful for him. I don't know who he is. It doesn't matter. So that's just, so we're saying whatever, not to hold on to that even too much, because that is a condition. That's a condition. I have to have their permission to do. You're not doing anything. It's not me that's doing anything. It's that source. And if source, and he is connected, everyone is, it could take just that 1 second, and it's not me. So I don't have to get permission for anything because it's not me doing it.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, if it helps, then great. But I found that if I were to say it's me doing the healing, then there was this responsibility. But then I would be responsible for them to be healed, but also if they weren't healed. So that's not something I want on me. Right. So I was just like, no, it's not me at all. It's just, just being here in this space. And it just so happens that someone runs across this, and who knows? I don't, it's not, like I said, it's just letting go of all that stuff.
And what I'm hearing, I guess the opportunity is if we feel in alignment and like a channel for healing, for example, for Laura to heal her son and like give this gift or to send energy or whatever it might be, then do it. And like feel if that feels in alignment, it's like, yes, it feels good. And I also think that there's interacting with whatever the condition might be that someone has, and then we continue to perpetuate that by like wanting to send healing energy to it too. Yeah. So how does
Look at it more as like if you pray for someone. Okay. Do you have to get their permission to pray for them? No. Do you have to give permission to send out love to someone? No. It's the same thing. No. That's the space in which this is.
And I had a question about the condition though. Like, if we send love to a condition so that it is resolved, is that continuing to fuel the condition, or are we being love and allowing?
If you're doing it from love with love, no, because there's just an intention for some clearing to occur, or there's an intention to just send love to it, and then that unconditional love from that highest source knows what to do with that. So now if you were to every single day focus on a problem, and it's a problem, instead of maybe praying for a solution or something. But if you do it over and over every day, that means you're still holding on to it. Okay. So at some point you just, it's just letting go. You sent prayers, and then it's just like you can set an intention, but if you say those intentions every single day, then you're just really putting it in, programming yourself instead of. So we're getting to a place of letting go of all the programming, not adding to it.
Yeah, and it's also not allowing the universe, God, source, whatever, to do the work, to do the heavy lifting. It's like we set the intention, we make the prayer, we say, and so be it, right? Whatever our unconditional love that we're sending is, and then we let it go, and we let whatever's going to happen, and trust that the highest good of all is working out. It's all unfolding.
Because for every want that you have, there's a don't want.
Mm.
And so what if you didn't have either and you just allowed?
Mm.
Instead of holding on, it's okay to say, in this moment. So if someone asked you, do you want, here's your ice cream, do you want chocolate or vanilla?
Right.
You get to choose.
Right.
And there's no, you don't hold on. You don't go in your mind every day and say, okay, chocolate's good, vanilla's bad. Chocolate's good, all day long. And so then you're programming yourself that there's something wrong with vanilla, but then maybe there's something wrong with chocolate too, because you want it so bad. So you see, so it's kind of like, just let it, you could you get to make choices in life. So this does not take away your choice. It's just, you're releasing some of that holding on tightly to something for whatever reason that was.
It's interesting because the choices, though, when we make them often enough, it can be a part of our identity, right? To say, well, I've chosen vanilla 1,000 times before this, so I'm going to choose vanilla again because that's who I am. I'm the person who likes vanilla, versus in the moment saying, what is inspiring me? What's calling to me? And being free to make that. I'm curious on that dance between, I feel like there's certain things that we have preferences for based on our identity, and then there's certain things that we just choose based on, in the moment consciousness.
Yeah. And but also, what if you're just choosing vanilla because you want to? So
right.
if you're asking yourself, why am I choosing vanilla, and then you're digging up a story. So when you let go of the story and say, you know what, I'm just choosing vanilla because I want to. And in this moment, I'm just choosing vanilla, and there's no reason why. And so it's not, so people are really hung up on there's a reason for everything. But okay, but do you need to or have to know that? Because then that's what creates that need to have to know, is because you're holding on to a story there that's not who you are. And so you're not the stories. You can let them go.
I love it. Christy,
doesn't mean you can't retell it again later if you want to and use it in a beneficial way. It's just you're not holding on to it. So you can, recall it without actually holding on to it.
Yes.
So just sending prayers and healing for her son, whatever that is. Don't need to know. And she can let me know. Maybe she notices a difference. Who knows? Or she can, get in touch with me and we can do a session or whatever. But yeah.
Yes. I love it.
Okay.
So we're beginning to wrap up the healing hour, Christy. Was there anything else that you wanted to touch on or share or give to our audience before we share how they can stay connected with you?
Yeah, just let them know if there's something you're doing and if it's working for you, and ask yourself, is it helping you and allowing you to thrive? Then go for it. If you're noticing that it's not, and maybe it's holding you back, or maybe you're noticing the same thing happening over and over again or whatever, then you might want to make some different changes or choices, or some, or let go of something that was maybe you thought there was a reason why you're holding on to it, but and it's just asking yourself, do you, people, I've had people ask me, well, if we don't go through these things, how are we going to learn? Well, the way you're learning, how is that working out for you? And so when you let go of all of that, even that need to have to learn and grow and expand and ascend and all this stuff about ascension, all this stuff, there's this beingness, this isness that's already within you, where there's already the answers. So you don't have to keep learning through this, because it will just come in whenever. So you don't have to keep learning through these experiences unless you choose to.
It's not out there somewhere. Like, we don't have to keep getting to somewhere. It's like just allowing and receiving and owning it and letting it flow through.
Yeah. So I'm just wrapping this up with just some overall, just kind of any kind of alignment, balancing, whatever. Just kind of balancing the energies or whatever there, bringing in and just really connecting you, though, with that higher vibration that already is there. Everyone is a high vibrational being. Okay. And so from that beingness, that isness that just is, and is beyond the concepts and beyond the constructs and all that. But, whatever works for you, find something that works for you. So I'm just bringing in, just kind of balancing, just to kind of wrap things up here. and just calm and peace. And just inviting in, we're just going to bring in that invitation for you to receive that clarity that is best for you. And you can come back and rewatch this again later and maybe do some more clearing, just allowing that space to just say, it's kind of like, I do this because it's kind of like, okay, putting this stuff here and saying, here you go. You know, and you can do that. It almost reminds me of like the Lion King, where the lion's holding up Simba, you know,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it's kind of like, you know, and you're holding it up though, as in, okay, yes, this is, you know, all, you know, resolved, or you're releasing this, you know, you're setting this free, whatever it is. And it's almost also like if you were to have a bird in your hand, and it's kind of like you don't want to hold on to it,
Mm.
then it can't fly. So it's kind of like just opening your hand and letting things go, and so setting it free.
Yeah.
So there's freedom.
100%. Christy, this is amazing. Thank you for
Absolutely.
all the gifts. Let's tell our audience how they can connect with you and work with you, what you got coming up.
Yeah. ChristyWarnick.com. I'll put the information in the comments below. And my Facebook page, Instagram, all of that. I do inspirational posts every day. And I also do videos there. I have a weekly show that I do on Awake TV Network, but I also do videos on my Facebook page and YouTube. And Chris has been a guest there a couple of times. And so we've had a blast. So thank you so much. And I hope everyone just has a wonderful day. I really do.
Yes. Let's allow the wonder. Let's allow the love. Allow the magic to just be.
Yep.
Just be.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Christy. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon, okay?
All right.